key numbers in the NFL are 3, 7, 10, and 14.
You know how we do in Detroit, son? We do nothing but win. For you right now, are you ready
I'm ready.
to bite some kneecaps?
New England is bad.
Real bad. Live the high life.
It's a close game.
The Taylor Heineke life. Yeah.
I love this pick. Tampa has been overrated all season long, and the people who make the books are still on this. They got blown out by Blake Purdy. Can Justin Jefferson be stopped? I don't know. If you watched how Carolina played with Andy Dalton, they were fine.
Well, more importantly, Adam Thielen is probably like, can we put Andy Dalton back in?
It is
icy season.
It's Joe Cool, and I feel the cold. I don't think the Bengals lose the rest of the season. Where the spread's the way to go. You just have to know how to bet it. Hey, welcome to the Betting Bros. I am, of course, Math, and this is
Joe
Smash.
Montana.
Joe Montana. So I didn't tell Smash about the new intro. I
love it. I
saw
love
him
it.
dancing. We threw in a little Adam Thielen love, threw in a little New England hate. You know, some fun
New England. Do we start talking about them as a competitor again?
No, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. So obviously we're presented now and always by the Scene Snobs, and then at Betting Bros 9183 is the X Twitter handle if you guys want to talk to us there. So
do it when they do X. Do they do it like this?
X gonna give it to you.
Give it to you.
The best was you can say Math and Smash are on X.
Math and Smash on X tonight.
On X. So, all right. So let's get to our bets here. We don't have as many this week. Let's do a recap of last week. I think from a Smash
Bad for Smash. I need to change up the luck.
We didn't score yet.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Me, I took a beating.
Woo! So on my end,
losses for the Smash.
On my end, I feel much better. I feel really good. I see a lot of W's in that column. I mean, we got Tennessee head-to-head with Smash. Took that one. Baltimore.
Atlanta, you let me down. Atlanta, you let me down.
Well, we'll talk about Atlanta because now we're in a much better space with Atlanta. I like Atlanta a lot more than I did last week. Baltimore got backdoor covered against Arizona.
Yeah.
Now the 10-10 didn't work though because Chicago is bad.
Chicago is beyond.
Yep. We found out that Cincinnati may be really good.
So they've called it the Joe Burrow 4-game slide now. That's it. So that's apparently we should just avoid betting Joe Burrow the first 4 games of any season.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, that's why I put it in the intro. What applied last year applies this year as well. And I don't know if the Cincinnati Bengals lose another game. I don't. It's very possible.
Not if they play like that.
So that was a good win for us, and it was a pretty easy cover. Seattle with the cover against Cleveland.
It's us stuff. There's no us stuff there. I lost that game.
Yes. Houston just didn't have it against Carolina. Really weird game plan for Houston.
They were my lock.
Yeah, so Houston ran the ball 35 times that game, and I don't know why. And they didn't score any points. So let's hope they just go back to the play calling they had before because they're better when Stroud's throwing 35 times a game. Jacksonville was a wash, but the game went about as expected, except we didn't have Kenny at the end, so we didn't get the comeback.
And Jacksonville, low-key 6-2.
Low-key 6-2 and very good. Kansas City and Denver. Kansas City, we're just going to call this the flu game. In the altitude, Patrick Mahomes.
It's a bad version of the flu.
Yeah, didn't look like himself on that one. Dallas just absolutely put the boots to the Rams.
They sure did. I called that one wrong, too. I thought Dallas is better than I thought, too.
Remember when I was like the model? I was like, the model says something here, and they're home. We have one of the streaks, so we're going to start calling the streaks out more often. What is it, 11 straight wins? For Dallas,
home wins for Dallas, so I think we got to start believing it.
So that one's pretty big. Detroit with an easy cover against the Raiders should have been 50 points, but I think we were missing Montgomery a little bit in the red zone, but he'll be back.
But the coming out party for Gibbs.
For Gibbs is very good. We knew that Gibbs was very good. We just had to find out when that would be shown. So
they had to unleash free lunch.
Unleash. So that one's a pretty good win. Green Bay and Miami. All we know about Green Bay is I thought that was a good spot for Green Bay, but it just wasn't.
Dude, they had the red. So I watched that game with the Green Bay had the ball 4 times in the red zone. Inside the 10, too. Not even just the red zone. 4 times inside the 10 and generated 0 points out of that.
So here's a bet for you on the Green Bay game without even looking at it. They have not scored in the first half in 10 straight games. They're not going to score a touchdown. If you bet them not to score a touchdown in the first half, you got a pretty good shot. And if not, then you broke the streak. Either way, it's fine. We're big streak breakers.
So the Green Bay team that came into Detroit is not that Detroit went to Green Bay. Sorry, Detroit at Green Bay is not the same Green Bay team. Their defense now has slid to the bottom 10, and I didn't know that. Their defense has slid to the bottom 10.
I just wonder if they're so young and they're just lacking depth and they're not used to playing.
Why can't they run the ball? They still have 2 good running backs.
Jones is pretty beat up.
Okay, Corey Dillon was great. Or not Corey Dillon. AJ Dillon was.
Bring Corey Dillon back. Let's go.
Yeah, bring Corey Dillon back. Where's Corey Dillon?
Cincinnati Bengals.
The Patriots probably want them some Corey Dillon right now.
I think plenty of teams would want them some Corey Dillon right now. Indianapolis, just New Orleans is such a hard team to peg.
I got my Minshew. I believe, even though
Indy's still good, and they'll be good. And they're one of the best DFS stacks this week because we have the Lions are out, the Bills are out, Bills aren't out. Sorry, the San Francisco 49ers are out, and Kansas City is on its standalone game. So you got to look for your games this week. So I actually have a Minshew stack definitely going into this game. The Jets just keep winning. Zach Wilson has the most fourth quarter comebacks of any quarterback this season. Just FYI.
That's what happens is like he knows that the MILFs, you got to go long for the MILFs. You can't be a short game. So
and I mentioned I thought Washington was going to be frisky in that Philadelphia game, and they were frisky.
Like, how did you make that? This is the thing.
Because that's the kind of games Washington plays.
That makes no damn sense. You know that. That makes no damn sense.
It's just how it goes, dude. Riverboat Ron loves. Like he's fine, like in games where he's underestimated, but you give that man any form of like.
I'm done. I told you I'm done. I'm done with the Commanders. I'm done.
And then last but not least, we got Buffalo just took it to Tampa Bay. Probably should have won by more. Yep. And the bad thing is that Josh Allen's elbow or shoulder's hurt again. So
bye week this week though. Bye week.
No, bye week next week. Sorry, next week. Yeah. So okay, so let's start up this week. Let's bring up the games. First one we're going to touch on real quick is just this may or may not be up by the time this game plays. So here's how you bet this game. You bet the Titans money line first half, and you bet the Steelers to win. You can get it at 6-1, and it's already happened 3 times this season.
I got one better. No, and I'll tell you why. Will Levis, some teams might have missed out. I watched part of that game.
I will say with Will Levis, the thing that I really liked about it is it was one of the first games in the NFL I've watched in a while, or at least, watched the highlights, where people were taking deep shots.
He took deep shots to DeAndre Hopkins, who looks don't forget, DeAndre Hopkins, this is what Ryan Tannehill is this bad. I just want to mention this real quick. Ryan Tannehill is this bad. DeAndre Hopkins caught passes for the Houston Texans that season when Deshaun Watson was down. DeAndre Hopkins caught passes from 6 different quarterbacks and still had 108 receptions.
Yeah, D-Hop's great, and I think
D-Hop is D-Hop, and Will Levis showed that D-Hop is still D-Hop. You know who didn't? Ryan Tannehill.
Well, the problem with Ryan Tannehill is he was built to win when Tennessee could run the ball 40 times a game, and that's just not the team they are anymore. And they're going to transfer
line. Like they just don't have the offensive line for it.
So I think they'll get more offensive linemen. I think this is Henry's probably last season with them, and I think next year you're going to see a Spears, Willis, and D-Hop combo. Maybe a little bit more.
Willis, not Levis?
Sorry, Levis. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I was like, Willis is done, man. If he takes another snap, that is a damn shame because Will Levis looked electric.
Yeah. So from that standpoint, I think we're good. Tennessee's fine. I think they're a fine bet. I just want to see, like, if you're going to give me 6-1 for the Steelers to come from behind and win, I'm going to take it. But that's the only way I want to play this game.
Do you see the Steelers as better than a 500 team this year?
I do when they're home and Pickett is playing.
Pickett's playing. He swore he's playing.
So he's going to play. And
he's game time decision right now. Game time as of now, Thursday at 6:09 p.m. he is a game time decision.
If you think it's going to be Trubisky, or you think Trubisky's going to play at all this game, then definitely bet the Titans. If you think, or you should have bet the Titans, because who knows if this will get out beforehand. But if you like the Steelers, I think it's just if Pickett plays, he's going to play terribly for 3 quarters, and then he's going to throw a touchdown to George Pickens at the end of the game, and they're going to win. And that's how it's going to go.
Kenny is a bad quarterback.
No, Kenny Pickett is Eli Manning.
He hasn't won a playoff game. I don't want to hear that. He's not. Eli was playoff magic.
Yeah, but he's got to get there. But if the Steelers are in the playoffs this year, you could see an Eli Manning-esque.
He got there last year. Kenny got there last year.
Yes, but he was.
Dude,
that was his.
I'm telling you, I don't.
That was not. Eli did not take anyone to the playoffs this rookie season.
I think the Steelers continuing to rely on Kenny Pickett is a mistake because they actually have a pretty talented roster. I don't know. I like the kid. I don't understand this.
It's not Kenny's fault. It's Matt Canada's fault. You cannot blame Kenny Pickett until Matt Canada's gone because he is that bad of an offensive coordinator.
He might be. I mean, Fire Canada was like everywhere. They said Fire Canada in Canada at a hockey game.
Yeah, they need to get rid of him. So that's the way I see this game. I think it's going to be low scoring.
Yeah, the under. I don't mind the under even at 37. I don't mind that under.
So I think it's fine there.
What do you see, a 17-13 game Titans?
I see a 13-10 game that there's a George Pickens touchdown at the end, and it ends 17-13 Steelers.
Titans 17-13. Derrick Henry rams in a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Go ahead.
There you go. There's your call. All right, so then the next one we got here. This one's for all the bananas.
Game. This is for all the marbles,
and it's in Germany. Here's
of all places, Germany, and that under. Hammer that under with every dollar you have.
Yes, for sure. But here's the thing: I was big on the Chiefs at 2.5. I was like, oh yeah, Miami's going to handle them. Or Miami's like terrible with the teams or with good teams, and I'm getting 2.5 with Patrick Mahomes. Well, it's already gone down to 1.5, and the reason why is I think, well, 1, Kansas City didn't give a good showing of themselves last week. 2, Miami's already in Germany. Kansas City's not going until Friday, and we have seen on multiple occasions.
How are the Chiefs favored?
Yeah. So also Miami's getting back, I think, one of their tackles, or could be getting back one of their tackles, and Ramsey's more healthy, and there's just a lot. So I bet out. I grabbed my money out of that bet. And I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm probably going to do the old Lunder bet. I'm going to go 2 field goals for both kickers, and I'm going to take the under. And that's
I'm taking the Dolphins money line.
You can throw the Dolphins money. I think the Dolphins actually can win this game. And another thing,
theoretically, not just so take out the Lunder, right? Like
I think this is a bad spot for Kansas City.
Kansas City's in a bad. They're coming off a loss that they shouldn't have had,
and they're going from Denver to Germany. And they're not.
Don't forget, like Patrick Mahomes, even though I got a jersey up there for good luck because he is one of my fantasy quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes has been removed from QB1 status on ESPN. The Chiefs are the weakest 6-2 team in the NFL. They have the lowest win margin and are only winning, and nobody's talking about this. They're only winning based on defense. That's it. That is what's keeping it. They haven't scored. I think they haven't scored over 31 a game.
They have 2 defenders out too. Hayes is out, and then another guy.
And
so the running game might be way open this week for
the
Miami.
Dolphins should run away with this game, but I'm not betting the spread because the money line's at plus 105. I'm taking the money line because it'd be silly to take this spread.
Yeah, you don't need the points if you think Miami's going to win.
No,
so I was on the Chiefs getting my early numbers when it was at 2.5. I said, well, it's not 3. I like that, but then. Just the thing to me, the main thing is honestly that they're not getting there till Friday. I've seen too many teams screw this up, and I'm done even trying to bet against it. It's going to be the Kansas City's going to come out. They're going to look lethargic, and the other thing is Kansas City plays man defense. You can't man up against Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It just doesn't work.
And they don't have the corner. They don't have the corners. They don't have the safeties. They don't have the pass rush. Like I don't know. If this were at home or away in the United States, I would still be betting the same way.
Yeah, I don't think this is the Bills game. I honestly think Miami gets over the hump here a little bit, shows itself as an elite team. The Chiefs
they're gonna pull a Detroit Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs.
And then the Chiefs just need to they're gonna lick their wounds in their bye week next week, and then they're gonna move on. Both these teams will be fine, but I do think this is the Dolphins' time.
They're both playoff bound. Let's be honest. Both of these teams are playoff bound.
Yep. So so that one.
I think with both of these teams playoff bound, we're don't make a judgment based on this game because it's in Germany either. But what we're going to get out of this.
You could make a pretty nice futures bet, though, depending on who wins this game as far as Super Bowl, because whoever wins this game is probably their road through the Super Bowl is probably at home.
Easier. Yeah. I will say this. I think it might be time to start. I don't know what the odds are right now for Tyreek for MVP, but we might want to start talking.
Yeah. I mean, McCaffrey, too, with the touchdown streak, right? It just depends how many games.
Are we going to see when's the last time we had an MVP that wasn't a quarterback?
It's been a while. But they talked about this a lot on You Better You Bet, and Ken's like, what's going to happen is we've seen receivers break records before. They just get Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah, and Calvin didn't get MVP somehow that year.
No, quarterbacks will get it. If Tua wins this game, they'll very much get it. You know, Tyreek, there might be a game where Waddle has 3 touchdowns and Tyreek doesn't. Like, there's still a lot of season left, but I wouldn't be breaking my back to bet a non-QB for MVP.
But here's the hard part. Tyreek Hill. Forget Jerry Rice for a second. Forget Calvin. Forget Steve Largent. Some of the, legend. Like, let's not think about that for a second. And take a look at what he's done for Tua. We need to start looking at, the stats, everybody's like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I love Patty Mahomes, and you know that. Tyreek Hill made Patty Mahomes better the same way Calvin Johnson made Matthew Stafford.
Oh, it's true. But I think they're both good. And I think Patrick Mahomes does amazing things. But it is interesting, right, with Patrick Mahomes that, you think of other great quarterbacks, right, like Brett Favre. Brett Favre made some of the worst receivers on earth good. Same with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. Remember Brian Schrader coming over to the Detroit Lions after being with the Packers and catching all of 32 passes in a season after catching 71 for Favre. And outside of Devontae Adams, is Donald Driver really that good? Is Antonio Freeman really that good? Antonio Freeman was that good. Sterling Sharp, who you might not remember.
I remember Sterling a little bit.
Sterling Sharp was that good. So Favre had a couple of legitimately good, but I mean, you're right. I don't know. We haven't seen Mahomes without Travis. I've been banging the Tua drum for 2 seasons. But Tyreek Hill, am I really saying this? Tyreek Hill might be the best receiver I've ever seen in my life.
You got to say in the modern age, right? Because your boy Jerry's going against a little bit heavier defense. Tyreek Hill.
That's the thing. So Jerry Rice and how he played, I've had this conversation with people, and if Tyreek continues doing Tyreek things 4 more seasons, right?
Tyreek Hill kind of reminds me of Barry Bonds, right? He was doing things so well when he was obviously Barry Bonds when he was smaller, right? He was a player before his time. Tyreek Hill might have been unstoppable in the even old NFL because he was so fast. Right? He might be so much faster than anyone else that could ever have covered him.
Do you think he's still mad?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, if he's still mad, then I don't know, man. I would take this spread. Granted, the Chiefs are favored somehow, but I'd take this spread all the way to 6.5 points. Tyreek might come out and put up 300 yards. I don't know how anybody on the Chiefs defense can cover him. He made the New England Patriots when they played. I thought New England would target him. You know how New England is. They target one receiver and shut him down. He put up 135 yards against Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I think we need to start talking about Tyreek as a top 5 receiver of all time.
Oh, it's got to be up there. But I mean, he's got more career left, right? Let's see how long he can sustain it.
He's one bad hamstring away from not You think
about one bad hit. He's not that's the difference between a Jerry Rice and a Calvin Johnson, right? You got some size there. You got some. Whereas if Tyreek Hill took a hit from Mark Carrier across the middle, I don't think he would have survived. It would look like that clip from Waterboy where the towel boy goes across the middle.
Yeah, I'm with you that I think the Dolphins are pretenders in the same way that the Lions kind of are.
But this could prove otherwise.
Tyreek Hill is the best. Tyreek Hill is the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson would say something, but he's not there. Is that crazy to say? Jefferson would say something about that, but he's not there.
Hey, can't. You know why? Because he's not playing.
Exactly.
So
speaking of,
here's the thing: can Tyreek Hill be stopped?
I don't know. And with that, we'll move on because we got we actually have to be out of here at a decent time tonight. All right, so. We got the Vikings at the Falcons. You gotta go with Taylor Heineke. You gotta go with him. Am I wrong?
Uh-oh. I don't. You know what I really like is this.
What do you really like?
I think they can cover. I think the Falcons can cover 2 weeks in a row. Don't let me down, Falcons. The Vikings are going to be starting some nobody. Who did they just trade for? And they're not.
Well, they just got Dobbs.
But they're not going to start Dobbs week. Are they going to pull a Dante Culpepper? Like, there's no way, right?
They haven't figured that out yet. That's been the one thing is like everyone thinks that within this number somewhere, people think that Josh Dobbs somehow might still be playing.
Oh,
But even so, it's like he hasn't seen the playbook yet, and I don't think their playbook is in the same realm as what it was when Baker Mayfield just took over for. There's a long like Sean McVay can kind of teach anyone up. I don't know if.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention they stripped everything down. The Rams said Sean McVay after that game said, "I stripped everything down to what was already in his wheelhouse." They were playing the Vikings had Kirk Cousins. If you could pick two completely different quarterbacks, it would be Kirk Cousins and Dobbs. So
yeah, and Kirk Cousins is known as the Mendoza line in the NFL, but he's a good quarterback. They're going to miss him. Like they're going to miss him more than they think they will.
Yeah, the issue with Kirk Cousins, he doesn't do anything better than anybody else, but his whole product, and I'm not a fan of Kirk Cousins, but his whole product is much better than advertised. He reads defenses past the first read. He gets rid of the ball. He doesn't take sacks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When they put in whoever that backup is, that rookie,
Hall.
I don't remember who. Why? Like that's the other person. I don't remember him.
They got another guy who may come back too. I can't, but not this week, but next week.
Is it Mannion? Is that his name? Sean Mannion?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
Okay, but
I don't like the Vikings this week. I might not like -4. Like,
I like the Falcons. I like the Falcons by a touch. So I watched that game. The Vikings literally did everything to give the game back to the Packers.
Yeah. As much as I hate Arthur Smith, like with Taylor Heineke.
Yes, sir. You know what it is? Oh, big party party. Big party party. Yes, sir.
How can you
Heineke life?
The Heineke life, man. You gotta roll with it. He's just like Gardner Minshew. They're the same quarterback. You could get a lot of randomness out of this, but I do think Atlanta's offense is going to be more exciting. Or they could just suck. But even so, I still think the Falcons can win by at least a touchdown.
I can't get a read on the Falcons. They were first in the NFC South last week. That's why
I told you it's home and away. That's why they're 4-4.
But I like the Falcons here just because the Vikings. First of all, the Vikings have no reason to be 4-4. I want to mention that there's no reason that team is 4-4. The games they did win were decided just like last year in the fourth quarter, which is nuts. That's nuts. Their defense is bad. I said
has trended better.
The Packers didn't, or the Vikings didn't win that game. The Packers lost that game.
Yeah,
which is different. That's different. And like
I would say the
wins the Falcons have were wins. They fought and won those games. If the Falcons don't win this game at home against a weaker opponent, the NFC South really is dead in the water.
It's dead in the water, and Arthur Smith's seat is also on fire.
Oh, it should be. The whole team should be put on notice because they have they're more talented. The Vikings are missing Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. How do you lose to that?
This might be a sneaky game where I don't think Madison is the play. I think it's Akers. Akers has been getting more carries.
They like him inside the red zone too. So.
Atlanta's run defense was a little exposed last week. And yeah, I feel like that could be good for Akers as far as a fantasy play for the Falcons. Drake London has not practiced this week, just FYI. But if Drake London plays, or if you want Kyle Pitts or whatever, I do think that their skill players have more upside this week than they usually do. And I think just because Desmond Ridder isn't a good quarterback, and Taylor Heineke is either as bad as Desmond Ridder or really good. So you have at least an upside. There is he's going to.
How was Taylor Heineke not starting from game one for them? That's the real question.
Well, because they wanted to see what they had in Desmond Ridder. But all right, so moving on.
Nothing. They had nothing.
I'm not going to put a lot on this game. I don't like the number 4, nor do I like either of these teams to bet on. So that's my lean, but that's
right there,
where
baby. Falcons by a touchdown.
All right, now here's the game y'all need to throw all your money on the Cardinals because the Browns are my eliminator team this week.
No.
Well, I'm saying
I like the Browns on the money line. I don't like the spread. Look at that spread. But I like the Browns on the money line.
I love the Browns on the money line, hence why they're going to be my eliminator team in week 9. So it's like,
here's the thing is like the Cardinals. So as far as I understand,
Mom, I don't want to lose to the Browns. Joe Burrow's never beaten the Browns. They're
statistically the worst franchise in history.
Who is starting for the Cardinals? Because I don't think
Clayton Tune.
So that's all you need to know. the Browns, the statistically second best defense in the NFL, are going against him.
Yeah, but they can't game plan for him.
I don't like the spread because the Browns have no offense. No offense. Oh my God.
No offense whatsoever.
There's no offense on that team, right? So in terms of what's going on, like I don't like the 8.5. I get it. I know where this number is coming from.
Well, also 8.5 with a 37 total. Like, you know how much math you have to do to make that like even fit? I guess you could win 10-0, but
like, okay, realistically, this could be a 20-3 game, so the under is certainly a lie. But there is nothing saying this defense doesn't come out and score 2 touchdowns against this offense. And
if Myles Garrett wants to win Defensive Player of the Year, and they need at least 10, they need at least 10 wins for him to do that.
So the Browns, I just want to remind everybody that I picked the Browns to win this division at the beginning of the season.
They're not going to beat the Ravens. They're not going to beat the Ravens in this division.
We'll see. They already beat them once. We'll see.
Yeah, but then they got to come to Atlanta. They got to come to Atlanta. Atlanta. All right.
We'll see.
Browns, this one's easy. Jerome Ford's probably a good play. Downtown Marquise Brown.
Hunt. I made money on Hunt last week. You can too. Kareem Hunt gets the touchdown, not Ford. So
Browns running back. And if you want to run the cheapest stack of all time, you could run a Browns PJ Walker stack, because the Cardinals are known for just giving up points to everyone.
The Cardinals are who we thought they were.
And we let them off the hook.
We did not bet them the right way at the beginning.
Another game I really don't want to talk much about. Sure, any team can beat the Packers.
It doesn't matter. Matt Stafford has a bum thumb on his non.
But he still might play.
Because he's Matt Stafford. The guy is just iron. He's iron. He's basically Ivan Drago from fucking Rocky. Like
the only thing that scares me here is the game I thought that I would get from the Packers last week is the game they play this week. They're at home. The Rams have to travel a long way.
But they were at home last weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Opponent.
I will tell you this. I would never lay Smash's money on the Packers to beat a team by 3 right now.
I like the money line with the Rams. So what was left out of the Dallas game, they sacked Dak Prescott 7 times.
Yeah.
Now it had no impact on the game because the Dallas defense was what created that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I like the Rams to bounce back against the Packers, but I'm unwilling to bet the spread in large part just because I don't think I don't know. I don't trust the Packers not to lose by 1.
I don't trust it. I don't trust this team. Well, no, so you're getting +3. So you're fine with the Rams up to 3 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. Do you think there's any way? I don't know. I want to put Packers -3. That's what I want to do, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Everyone does, because everyone knows that like, based on what we have known for the past 25 years, even when they're bad, is that's true. But for whatever reason, Jordan Love.
It's cold. But Matt Stafford's played in the cold his whole career.
Matt Stafford knows how to play in the cold. And and Sean McVay, like we just said, like he got Baker Mayfield to win a game for him just out of literally nowhere.
And the Rams are clearly the more talented team. So, and they're still trying to the Rams are still competitive in the NFC West. I just want to mention that.
Yeah.
Like if they win this game, they're right there. I don't know. I just hate, you know what? Maybe the Packers are on my shit list now. I hate the fact I stacked the Packers last week.
Oh, the Packers are, like I said, I wouldn't bet any amount of money on the Packers as a favorite. There's just no reason to, because they haven't proved in any game that they are a favorite.
Jordan Love, although I got to imagine he's still getting you 16 points a game. Like,
yeah. Like I said, the best way to bet this game is no touchdown scored by the Packers in the first half. That's the best way to play this.
I do think the Rams win this game.
You might sneaky play the Rams defense, honestly. They might get you a couple sacks. So, and they'll cost.
I'll say this, Jordan Love, he's not bad, but he is average.
He is average.
And when you're coming into that team, you can't be an average quarterback.
So, yeah, it is what it is. It's just not a good game. Rams money line's the way to play it if you're going to play it.
Like they're just
and low scoring.
Yeah, the under, I don't mind that. The under.
And then another game I could care less about.
Oh, why are there so many bad games this week?
But they're all tight though. It's bad teams playing bad teams and good teams playing good teams. Why it's been such a hard eliminator week. Honestly, like the Patriots play better later in the season. The Commanders aren't going to be able to get a pass rush. They're going to his name's like Derek Douglas or Donnie Douglas or something for the Patriots. He's a good play in DFS. The Patriots, because they're not going to get a ton of pass rush, they might be able to get over the Commanders corners.
Wait a second. I'm changing my bet. Look at this. Why is the over? I'm taking that all day. Why would that be 41?
Because everyone's found a way to pass on the Commanders.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Nah, under. That's where I got my money. I don't know who's going to win this game. I truly have no idea who's going to win this game because I hate the Commanders and the Patriots.
We just started this podcast saying that the Commanders as underdogs are always dangerous. Always. Always dangerous.
Here's the thing. So the Commanders, I don't know what to get out of them. The Patriots, the 2 wins that they do have are against Super Bowl contenders.
Yep.
I don't know what they are.
No one knows what they are. Now, I will say
that I do know that neither team can score.
I will say the Patriots are a sneaky DST play because Sam Howell gets sacked 6 times a game. So
he's on he's going to break David Carr's record. He's on record. He's on track to break David Carr's record.
The problem is over half of his sacks are when he holds the ball for longer than 5 seconds.
Well, he's not a good quarterback.
Okay, both of us played offensive line. If my quarterback held the ball for more than 5 seconds consistently, he wouldn't be my quarterback very long.
No. And I talk about pass pro. Like, how can you pass pro for that? And think about this. That kind of like
in that division, they got to play Philadelphia and Dallas. You got to have that ball out in 2-3 seconds.
Oh my God. You got to go 3-step and throw every play. And like,
or you better be in the gun and you better be on your heels.
If you do want to bet a win here, if you're betting the money line, I got to put my money line on the Patriots. I like the Commanders for the spread, but the bet that I think is the real way to go is the under at 4.
Yeah.
This could be a 13-10 game.
You have 2 of the crappier quarterbacks in the NFL, and they're one of the higher totals this week.
Like, how did they come up with that over? Like,
just Commanders' defense is weak. That's really all it is.
But we know how bad New England's offense is. We know how bad their offense.
Yep. But I do say so for the Patriots, I say you play their receiver, the Douglas kid. He'll at least catch 5 to 6 balls. And for the Commanders, Dotson, I think is still at like 4,500.
If you want to stretch play, maybe Hunter Henry to fall in the end zone.
Yeah, he's like 3,200. That's a cheaper tight end you can find.
Cheaper tight end. The Commanders are really bad against tight ends. Like Hunter Henry to fall in the end zone.
I like that one too. I can't decide if I like Ferguson for Pittsburgh or the Patriots Henry to fall in the end zone better.
It's so hard. Tight ends are hard this year. If you're not playing Laporta, the Vikings tight end.
Hawk or Kels. Andrews has been pretty solid.
Andrews, so he's peak floor. He's been peak floor.
Well, yeah. Now you talk about the other side. Logan Thomas against the Patriots. He could fall.
He's active tonight. Logan Thomas tonight is active, or he's active this week. I just got the notification from ESPN, and he's one of my tight ends in regular fantasy. And
so there's probably some decent value. I think there's good cheap players to be had in this.
How about Ramondre Stevenson for like
Commanders' run defense they think the Commanders' run defense will be better without Chase Young because Chase Young gets out of his lane so often.
Yeah, he's a young pass rusher. That's what happens. Like
I don't know. That daunted Michigan front line somehow figured out how to get in their lane in 1 year.
Listen. Don't throw bones at Steve when we're on our podcast, okay? Like
Hutch for president. Let's go. All right, let's move to the Bear. Okay, yeah, the under is the way to play that. It's not a very good game to play from the side standpoint.
What is this spread?
If you have the nuts to put 8.5 on
what
the Saints.
What is this spread? Why are the Saints favored? When have they ever beaten an opponent by 8.5 points?
Okay, but here's my question. You say that. Can you click 8.5 on the Bears?
I'll do it right. I'm smashed. I'll do it right now. I believe they can cover 8.5. Like, here's the thing. The Saints are bad. They're not 4-4. Like, I know they're 4-4, but the Saints are not 4-4.
Okay, here's the thing. So I'm with you. I make this a 5-point game on the spread.
Like, it's going to be decided by a field goal, right?
But it might be. But here's the thing. Don't bet. I know you like to do your parlay, so do your parlay now. But when you bet this like for real, it'll be at 10. That number hasn't found a floor yet.
Really? A team that the Saints are their high scoring effort for the season is like 23 points, I think.
Oh, I think it's wrong, but I'm telling you that the Bears are so hard to figure out and so lowly rated right now that they are down 8.5.
Who's starting at quarterback for the Bears?
Badgett.
Badgett is elite. Nah, not really. But I don't know, man. So the Bears.
I honestly think they think this game's going to end 10-0.
No way. The Bears score against that defense.
Maybe. Maybe Badgett does, but Saints defense is pretty good.
Like I like that. I like the Bears with this spread 8.5. I never like a number over 7.5 anyway. But like,
I'm with you. You want Dennis Allen to cover an 8.5 point spread? I think you're crazy.
How?
It's just
like, okay, don't forget that their quarterback is Derek Carr. Don't forget that. Derek Carr could find a way to lose this game.
You still have Olave, Kamara, and Derek Carr going against whatever the Bears have, right? Like there is that.
Don't forget the Bears just acquired a pass rusher.
Oh, Montez Sweat is going to just.
Yeah, Montez Sweat's a real deal. Like
I like Montez Sweat a lot, but I don't think that makes the Bears defense a point better.
No, but I think that like it helps to put pressure on Carr because he's terrible.
I really like putting anything over 7 against the Saints any day, so it's fine. But I do think we might get a 9.5, 10 on this because 8.5 doesn't mean anything, right? It's not a key number. So there still might be movement on this. I think it's going to go towards the Bears. You don't think it's going to
drop to 7.5? You really don't think it'll drop?
No, I think it's going to go to at least 9.
That's crazy. That's a crazy number for a team. The Saints just aren't a good football
team. Well,
it
opened it like you said at 7, and that's where it's went up to already.
People are hammering the Saints that hard that they're shifting that. Now, I like the Bears to cover this spread. That's a ridiculous number. This game will be decided by.
I agree. I think they're two bad teams. I think anything under a field goal is crazy.
The Saints aren't 4-4 the right way. They're 4-4 the wrong way.
I make it a 5-point game. So we got plenty of room on 8.5.
Yep.
And we're over 7. And we're over 7, which is all that really matters. Yep. Now, if we could get 10, that would be nice. Really nice.
If you get 10, that'd be better.
All right. But you could tease 14 on that game.
Okay, what I want to say is this. The Seahawks are the most underrated team in the NFL somehow.
Yes, here's the only problem this week. Lockett's banged up. The Ravens are hot. And the Seattle has to travel all the way here. I like the Ravens under a touchdown. I haven't bet it yet. I'm just waiting to figure out where it finally lands.
Where it lands? Like, is it going to land over?
I make it exactly 6. That's the problem. I'm right on. Like, this makes complete sense to me. The over-under is pretty close to what I think it's going to be. But the Ravens defense has really played well recently.
I think the Seahawks have gone over in almost every game so far this year.
Yeah, I like.
You know what? I'm going to say here's a upset dog in them. Upset special of the week. Don't let me down, Pete Carroll, because I don't believe in the Ravens, and everybody knows this. I do not believe in the Ravens. I think they're the team that we saw who have 2 really bad losses. Like,
if you like Seattle, I do think a Geno stack would be a really weird way to play it.
Also, DK blows the doors off their corners. Come on.
Maybe. Or also Charbonnet has been getting a lot of press. Not that means anything with Pete Carroll, but
Kenny, the real Kenny, not that Kenny in Pittsburgh.
Now,
the real Kenny.
So Math has to brag a little. He cashed $250 on a $5 DFS. Yeah. And the reason why he did it was because of Jackson Smith in Jigba.
I was gonna pick him up in regular fantasy.
If JSN is under 5,000, he's an automatic play because there is a darn good chance he falls in the end zone now that they're playing 3 receiver sets.
Well, I don't know how the Seahawks are now. I get why the Ravens are favored, but I don't know why the Seahawks. This should be a 3-point spread.
It's a lot of respect though. You got to give because it is still under 7, and the Ravens are like after the 2 games they've won. Are being looked at as one of the big, as Super Bowl contenders.
They caught the Lions on a big road trip, and they pounded the Cardinals. I'm sorry. The Ravens don't convince me of anything. Let's rewind to the first half of that Lions game where they let their offensive line not only have a false start every single play, but held almost every play. And when you don't let a defense do their job, the offense is going to move the ball that way. I don't see the Ravens. First of all, I don't see them winning the game. I'm sorry. That's why I'm betting my money the way it is. I don't see the Ravens winning this game. I think they got to be tired. The Seahawks shut down tight ends better than anybody else in the NFL. Laporta only had 2 catches. I hate saying this because I hate Pete Carroll so much, but he does so much with so little, and they're just a better team. They're a better team than the Ravens. Seahawks win. There's my money.
All right, so I have a one DF. I usually set a DFS lineup early in the week just to see how I'm feeling, and Odell is $3,800 this week. He didn't catch any passes last week.
Yeah, but he did against the Lions. He
caught 5 against the Lions. He's caught at least 3 passes, like 2 or 3 times. He doesn't generally not get a ball, right? And he's going to be squeaky. I I like that as a low key like.
Those two losses that the Ravens have. So let's put them at like let's rewind it. Let's erase the Lions game because that's an aberration. I think we saw this week against the Raiders. That's an aberration. Those two losses they had were bad losses. They looked terrible against the Browns. They look terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I get maybe call me like whatever it is, but like I don't believe in Lamar Jackson as a pocket passer like he was against the Lions. They didn't make their yardage throwing the ball against the Cardinals. So are the Seahawks the most underlooked Super Bowl contender in the NFL? If so, if you believe that, then you have to put your money on the Seahawks.
Yeah, I just don't believe Geno Smith can win a Super Bowl, but that's my.
People said the same thing about Brad Johnson.
Okay, but Brad, Seattle
defense is playing lights out, man. Their defense. The Lions had to ratchet it up and call 80 million gadget plays to
I realize the Seattle's defense is better than advertised, but they have nothing on the 2000s Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a whole different animal. That's like
Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is the best player not being talked about for defensive MVP.
Bro.
That's like the dude.
But he plays linebacker. No one cares about linebackers anymore.
I care about linebackers.
I care.
I care, Tim.
All right. So Seattle, honestly, I don't think that's a bad bet. If you think Seattle's a good team and you're getting a good team,
I'm starting to believe.
Yeah. So.
Oh God.
This game's unbettable for me. I just can't. 2.5 is like, it's literally the only number that I will not bet on this game because I want the Buccaneers at least 3.5, and I want the Texans under 2, maybe. Like I don't like the Texans as a favorite, and I don't like the Buccaneers as under a 3.5 point underdog.
I don't. You know what? Here's the important point about this game. The Buccaneers are unlike the 4-4 Saints. The Buccaneers are a better 3-4 team. Saints are a 4-4. The Texans have overplayed their ability all season. Like there's no reason they're not 0-7. I put here.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's no reason to play the 2.5 because there's no value in it, and
there's no value there. I think the Buccaneers win this game. It might be ugly win. I mean, they've been in all 7 games they've played. They've been in. They were in that Lions game. They stuck in the whole first half. Like
Florida to Houston isn't a long flight. There's not a big travel issue here,
and the Texans can't run the ball. We know that.
The Texans can't run the ball, so they're gonna have to. And so like it could be.
So their running back last year was great. What's his name? It's
Damian Pierce. He's just been down. I
don't get it. Like
he was like a 5th round draft pick though. Those happen a lot.
Yeah, they get a flash in the pan. Saquon. What was the name? Not Saquon.
Sam Congato.
Sam Congato.
Undrafted. Wasn't he undrafted from like Eastern?
Something like that.
Or like, Grambling, or it was one of those.
Like Gato. So like, yeah. I don't know, man. They can't run the ball. The Buccaneers.
I do think it could be a sneaky shootout game though.
Yeah, if both defenses collapse.
Both defenses just aren't very good, and you get Nico Collins for like 5 for 100 and a touchdown. And on the backside, you get Evans for like, I don't know what it's called.
Or have the Texans been exposed as what we always knew they were?
I don't know. Stroud
they did just lose to the Panthers.
Stroud and Ryans said that they had the wrong game plan, and and teams are playing back on them now. So Nico's not able to get over the top, which is creating some issues. So you got to. If you think DeMeco Ryans is a good coach and you think that CJ Stroud is a good quarterback, theoretically they figure out a way to beat that. But also the Buccaneers have a crappy coach. Like he's not a very good coach. And Baker Mayfield's not exactly.
I mean, Baker is not a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback.
He's not exactly a thinker though. Like that's like if you think the Texans are using this game to adjust the game plan, I don't know, you could go the other way, but I don't touch this game because, like I said, it's the exact way I don't like playing either of these teams. You give me the Texans as a 7-point dog, I'm all over it. But yeah. I'm not playing them as a favorite.
When they face each other, it's really hard. I like the Buccaneers to cover spreads all day.
It's fine. I think
they win this game. I think the Buccaneers win this game by a field goal.
Much like we said in some of these other games, you have 2 bad teams. Why not take the money line on the one that you think are that has the better value?
Smartest bet of the week. My stone cold lock of the week for sure. Right there. All freaking day. All day and Saturday.
This is called Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and this is my stone cold lock of the century. I'm not allowed to say the name because
Headband makes it true. Like, what happened last week, Gardner? Colts have to win this game big. Make me a believer again. I was a believer last week. The Panthers suck. I can't believe they beat the Texans. Colts also.
I like the Colts as well. And I like this is my DFS sneaky stack of the day. You run a Minshew Downs. Now Downs didn't practice today, but we'll keep an eye on that. A Minshew Downs stack, and then you run it back with Adam Thielen.
Every week, run it back with Adam. But
Every
Adam Thielen
week
was 6,400 last week. He's going to be more this week.
He's 7,500, and it's still worth it.
I don't know, man. Like, okay, let's remember his entire strategy is to catch the ball and fall down. Like, sure, he gets open, but like getting him to 100 yards in daily is rough. You're doing it the hard way.
How many fantasy points a week do you think that Adam Thielen gets?
19.1.
22.
Oh.
And last week was a down week.
Yeah. Like, but this is it. So he
averages 10 receptions. He averages 10 receptions a game.
I don't play players in fantasy that get there the hard way. I just don't. I want explosion. That's what I want. So it's the perfect run back. He's the perfect run back though. Because all you need, all you're saying is you're saying, I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the week. And I think that I'm going to get. I bet the under. If I'm betting an over and under, that I'll tell you this: the Panthers. There's no freaking way the Panthers should have won last week.
No.
What a terrible game, Texas. By the way, I want to send like a rotten egg to your mailbox. The Colts win this, and if the Panthers score over 12 points, I'll be surprised. Like, don't
also,
let me.
If Zach Moss is under $5,000, he's still playable. Dude's going to touch the ball 15 times a game still somehow.
Yeah, Moss is healthy this week. So,
yeah.
Sure. Like, you know who you don't play ever again in the history of ever? Miles Sanders.
No, Miles Sanders is dead. I am playing Chuba Hubbard in a bye week. Let me tell you, the bye week running backs are deep. All right, so another game I don't want to bet.
We're on the same page here, right?
Yeah, for sure. I hate the Panthers. You generally am betting against them. And if they're not,
what is this game?
Don't bet it.
How is it? Like, this is the ugliest game, and they don't even have the worst records, but this is the ugliest game.
I wish that the news from the Raiders pushed them down more, because the way I would bet this is 100% the Raiders. I love the interim coach first game bounce back.
Oh yeah, the bounce back.
And I think the Raiders.
The problem is, you know who they're starting.
They're starting AOC. She's the squad.
They're starting the squad. Like,
okay, but Devontae Adams is quarterback proof. So and now he's really.
Oh, he isn't. No, he isn't. Devontae Adams is washed, and the Lions showed that he is.
Oh my goodness, you're insane.
Washed.
You mean he should have had?
Bum.
You mean he couldn't get hit when he was wide open? He should have scored 2 touchdowns that game.
No, the Lions put too much pressure on the quarterback. They also, the 2 times, so everybody overlooked this. Everyone's like, oh, poor Devontae. 2 times he had it hit him in the hand, and he dropped it.
I
don't feel bad for former Packer Devontae Adams.
I don't feel bad for him either. All I'm saying is I think this is a bounce back game, and I think
it's not a bounce back. You know, you bet this. That's it. I'm angry. Right there. Let's go, Giants. Saquon Barkley, 2 TDs and $120 against a defense that sucks. Let's go, Giants.
Are they going to single wing it to Saquon?
All day long, son. The Giants are bad football. And you know what? Devontae, you're old. You never should have whined your way out of Green Bay, because right now you could be catching passes from Jordan Love, which is still better than anybody on the Raiders roster.
Okay, before you submit this bet, I want you to go through and make sure you know how many moneyline underdogs are currently on the
No, I love it. So this is the thing. The Giants are a better than 2-6 team. The Raiders are a worse than a 3-5 team. So I'm going to bet that all day and twice on Sunday. Let's go, Giants. Prove that you are better than that, because you are. And Saquon goes for $120 and 2 TDs against a defense that's whack. And shame on you for not trading Max to the Lions, because he belongs in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. My general thought of the matter is I'm going as left as I can. I'm hanging out with the squad. I'm all AOC on this one. I love interim coach.
The Raiders are done, son.
I'm with the squad. I just love it. Has nothing to do. The Raiders could be literally any team on earth.
How do you have one drive where you realize, oh, our best player on our team is Josh Jacobs, and then basically never hand him the ball again?
Interim coach bounce back.
No interim coach bounce back, because they don't have that. that staff was put together by the worst coach in the NFL.
Trivia question for Jeopardy. Who is going to be coaching the Raiders this week?
Oh, God. I don't even know.
Antonio Pierce, the Super Bowl winning linebacker for the Giants.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was their linebacker coach.
Your linebacker coach.
I thought they were going to put Deuce Gruden in there.
No, I didn't. I like the Giants in this game. They're a better team than 2-6. I think they win. I don't know by how much, so I'm staying away from the spread. Plus, you get the juice with the money line. Giants win this game. And if they don't, shame on them because they're a better team than 2-6, and the Raiders are a worse team.
Fair enough. All right, we got to cook through these next three.
Let's do it.
Cowboys and Eagles. Eagles money line. This is
right.
The Cowboys are on the road against a team that can get absolute just ton of pressure. Yep. Tony Pollard, let me tell you, from someone whose team name is My Little Tony, Tony Pollard is washed.
He's not a starting running back.
Whoever took his knee, dude, he looks like he belongs in Space Jam. I think the Monstars got a hold of him, dude.
Monstars.
Charles, you're not Tony Pollard.
You know what it is? He needs, and shame on the Cowboys for not realizing the fact that they didn't go out and acquire, Derrick Henry. Tony Pollard needs somebody to do that between the tackle stuff because he can't. Yeah. And
dude, they're out there on the playground right now. They're saying, you ain't Tony Pollard. You're just a bum that looks like Tony Pollard.
Dallas Cowboys, Leonard Fournette is still a free agent.
No, he's not. Bill signed him.
Yeah, go Bills. I love playoff Lenny is coming back, baby. They're going to put him on the practice squad for a couple weeks and get him slim because I guarantee he's really big right now.
Playoff Lenny. LSU legend.
LSU legend. He's only 27.
Dude, it feels like he's literally been in the NFL longer.
He's been in the NFL for a decade.
I feel like he's been in the NFL longer than Tom Brady. All right.
Eagles win this game. I don't know how by much, but the Eagles win this game.
A brotherly shover, too, that the Cowboys don't have.
Whoa. Come on now.
Oh, yeah. I like the Bengals in this game.
What?
I do. There's nothing I can.
That shirt and you like the Bengals in this game?
Yes.
No one circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills.
Like the Buffalo Bills. Come on. How are the Bengals favored in this game because they had one good game?
Like I said earlier, man, I don't think that the Cincinnati Bengals, the way they played, that they're going to lose to another team this week or this year. It's just not
head-to-head then. This is our head-to-head.
Oh yeah, this is definitely our head-to-head. And I don't. This is in no way my stone cold lock, but it's definitely the head-to-head because I just think that Joe Cool is healthy. Meanwhile, Josh Allen's shoulder, he was out of practice. They're resting it to see if he can throw the ball downfield.
I don't think this is my thing. The Bengals, as I called to begin this season, are exactly where I said they are. The Bills, as I called to begin this season, are exactly where I said they. These are two tired.
Dude, the Bills lost to New England, man.
Yeah, but the 5 wins they had were decided. I think
the Bills treat objects like women, man.
The New England team is better than 2-6. The Bills are. These are two teams. We know exactly what they're 2 teams that are beat up. They've played a lot of football the last 3 seasons. They're like the Chiefs, right? It's why the Dolphins, had it not been Germany, the Dolphins would have blown the doors out of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's we have some teams in the AFC that have played a ton of football. Now, everything equal, the Bills have the better defense, and I think Josh Allen plays in this game. If you believe, this is an interesting kind of comparison. Who is actually better, Jamar Chase or Stephon?
Jamar Chase.
Hands down, you think? Just no thought.
No thought. Dude, when
because
he said...
I think Diggs is better. I think Diggs is a better receiver. You know what Diggs would have never done is given up on routes or stuff like that, like Jamar Chase did at the beginning of the season when Joe Cool was hurt.
That doesn't...
I think the Bills are the tougher team. I think their defense is better. I think that Stephon Diggs is better. And if Josh Allen plays, the Buffalo Bills win.
Josh Allen will play. I just don't know if he's 100%. And Jamar Chase, when he said, I'm always open, he was right. Dude's always open.
Yeah, but Stephon Diggs is too.
No, there are times when Stephon Diggs is
there is no better route runner in the NFL right now than Stephon.
I think Cooper Kupp would beg to differ.
I think Stephon Diggs is a better route runner than Cooper Kupp.
Well, this is what I hear. Dude, Vanilla Ice.
Oh no! This is our head-to-head. I feel what should we have on?
So, I don't know. What do you want?
I feel like we should have okay.
You have a Josh Allen jersey, don't you?
I have my little shirts.
I feel like it's a Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow jersey bet.
Okay, if
I win,
I'll buy you a Josh Allen jersey.
You have to get me a Josh Allen. I want the blue one. If you win, I'll get you the Joe Burrow. And you want the white one or you want the orange?
Orange one for sure.
Orange one, and you can put it in there with your Carson Palmer black.
Dude, I don't know where that jersey went. That jersey's been gone a long time. The only one I have left is the Drew Brees, and I stuck it away because they're playing Purdue this week. We can't have them out.
So I like this is head to head, ladies and gentlemen. It's the jersey matchup. Or jersey matchup, not sure. Jersey matchup.
I love how I just made $100 bet and I put like $10 on games. It's like I don't know how that just happened.
No, it's fine. It's way better because I would rather have a jersey than $100.
Well, yeah, because you always know where it came from.
Yeah, plus it's honor bound. I'm just saying, I believe in Josh Allen. I still do way more than Joe Burrow, and I'm sorry, the Bills are just a better team than 5-3. They're just tired.
I don't know.
Plus, if playoff Lenny plays,
and you're giving me no, he's not going to play. And you're giving me home field advantage though.
You can have it. That's why I get the plus 105 on the bet. Like, the Bills play away really well. It's not like the Bills have some sort of weird thing where they only play well in Buffalo. Like, the Bills play good everywhere.
We'll see. Run it. We got 2 more games to go, so let's go. This right here is my...
This is called Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and this is my stone cold lock of the century. I'm not allowed to say the name because someone copied.
Dude, there is no way the Jets don't win this game. At home against the Chargers?
So it depends. The Chargers won pretty convincingly.
Dude, the Chargers played the Bears. The Bears are currently favored, are underdogs.
8.5 underdogs?
8.5 underdogs to Dennis Green. That game, they might as well have been playing Alabama or some college team. It doesn't matter who they were played that week.
I know how to bet this game.
No, dude, the Jets are going to win this by 7.
That's how I bet this.
Oh, dude. Zach Wilson, put my money on him all day. Let's go.
Chargers, so if the Chargers win, it might only be by 1 or like a field goal. So I like the Jets to cover and potentially win more than I like the Jets to win.
You're giving me Robert Saleh and Breece Hall against one of the dumbest coaches in the NFL.
But one of the best offenses in the NFL.
No, they play well against teams that have bad defenses.
I like the Jets. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's not necessarily a situation where like I'm anti-Jets.
The Chargers' run defense is also horrendous.
I like the Jets if they lose to only lose by 1 to 2. That's why I'm betting the way I am.
Well, okay,
if the Chargers lose this game, or if the Jets lose this game, it's only going to be by 1 to 2 points. It'll be decided, if the Chargers win, they kick a field goal in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can make it more lucrative and just call it the Jets and the Chargers under, maybe.
I mean, you could do that too. I like the under. I mean, but they're both at 110. I guess if you're gonna make it, you know what? You just convinced. If you're gonna make the smart bet, the under. Yeah, I like the under. Good.
Fair enough.
That way I don't have to really, because I don't think this game's going to go, you don't have a situation where it's going to be greater than 17-14. So, okay. Yeah, sure.
All right. And then we go to the bottom here. We got the last game. I like the Jets. I like the Jets money line and the under. Oh, is that Monday night?
That's Monday night, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That is Monday night. All right. So we got it.
Let's see what the odds are here. What am I going to win this week?
All right. I'll pull up my things just so we see where we're at. So I bet Cleveland at a lower number against Arizona. So that's just, I already have that number in. I already have in a Cincinnati number. I have the Jets to cover against the Chargers as soon as it went over 3. I like the Raiders over Green Bay just because of the bounce back. I like Miami this week. I just think I don't know why Kansas City's favored with no home field advantage.
It's crazy. There's no, also Kansas City hasn't played well.
A bunch of crappy games, and then the model says Washington. But like we said already, I got Pitts. You probably won't see it, but I'm taking Pittsburgh to win the game, but to lose the first half.
So this week, shooting for $18,000. I got to make a deposit. I'm not going to do it. I was running in hot. And Tim knows I was running late.
All good. So, all right, everybody. Remember, we're with...
Pull us back out. Yeah, there we go.
Betting Bros. I am Math. This is Smash. And we are presented by the Scene Snobs. Bunch of shows going on this week. Go check those out. Check us out this week, and then all week's going on. See you later.